You're flying a routine night patrol over a black ocean of clouds when the radar operator suddenly goes quiet and the silence in the cockpit becomes heavier than the roar of the engines because on the glowing green radar screen something impossible appears, a perfect circle of light moving faster than anything that should exist, no transponder, no flight plan, no wings, just a disc-shaped mark drifting across the sky as if the laws of physics were only suggestions, and before anyone can speak. The radio cracks with a nervous voice from command asking if you also see the unidentified target because satellites just picked it up and the words that follow are the ones pilots both dream about and fear more than anything else: intercept and investigate. So the jet tilts forward and the engines scream as you push the throttle harder than you ever have before, climbing through the cold darkness where the stars feel closer than the earth below and the radar mark grows brighter, larger, moving in strange angles that no aircraft could survive, zigzagging, stopping, accelerating again like something alive is playing with the sky itself, and as you get closer the clouds beneath you begin to glow faintly as if moonlight is shining upward from the earth. But there is no moon tonight, only that silent moving disk ahead of you, and the closer you get the more wrong everything feels because your instruments begin to twitch and flicker, the compass spins slowly like it has forgotten where north is. The radio fills with a low humming tone that no one on the ground seems to hear, and then suddenly it appears outside the canopy, not on radar but in reality, hovering several miles ahead, a perfectly smooth metallic disc reflecting the faint light of distant stars, no windows, no seams, no engines, just a silent object hanging in the sky like it has been waiting there for centuries, and for a moment you forget to breathe because every story you ever heard about flying saucers suddenly feels less like science fiction and more like a warning that humanity was never supposed to look too closely into the night sky. Command orders you closer, closer, closer. Your jet slicing through the darkness while the disc remains perfectly still until you are within a few hundred meters, and that is when it moves, not gradually like an airplane turning but instantly, as if the universe itself skipped a frame and the craft simply appeared in another place, now above you, then behind you, then below you again, impossible movements that should tear any machine apart, yet it glides effortlessly as if gravity means nothing to it, and your radar locks onto it for a second before losing it again, the system confused by the object's sudden bursts of speed that jump from 0 to thousands of kilometers per hour in the blink of an eye. Command is shouting questions through the radio, but their voices are breaking apart into static because the closer the disc comes the louder that strange humming vibration becomes, like a giant electric current moving through the sky, and suddenly the object stops directly in front of your jet, so close that the surface fills your entire windshield, a dark metallic mirror reflecting your own aircraft like a toy compared to it, and for a moment everything is silent, the engines, the wind, even your heartbeat seems distant as if the air around you is thickened into something heavier than atmosphere, than a line of pale white light appears along the bottom edge of the disc, not opening like a door but glowing through the metal itself as if the craft is waking up, and the light grows brighter and brighter until the entire sky around you turns into a glowing fog, the cockpit flooding with reflections while every instrument fails at once, altitude gone, radar blank, navigation frozen, and your jet begins to drift sideways as if caught in a gravity that is no longer pointing toward Earth, and you realize something terrifying. The disc is not just being chased anymore, it is now controlling the space around you, bending it like invisible hands pressing against the world. Command keeps shouting your call sign but their voices sound far away like echoes through water, and the light suddenly shuts off leaving the sky darker than before. The disc vanishes from sight for half a second and then reappears miles away, accelerating so fast that the human mind struggles to understand what just happened, but the chase is not over because new orders come immediately. Multiple jets are now in the air and all of them are hunting the same object, for fighters cutting through the night trying to surround the disc as it glides silently above a desert thousands of meters below, each pilot reporting the same impossible thing: the craft moves without inertia, without delay, like it is skipping through space rather than flying through it. And then something even stranger happens. The disc slows down deliberately, almost as if it wants to be followed, drifting just ahead of the formation, staying always out of reach but never disappearing completely, leading the jets deeper into empty airspace far away from cities, far away from radar stations, until the ground below becomes nothing but black mountains and forgotten valleys where no one would ever notice what happens in the sky, and suddenly the disc stops again, hovering directly above the lead jet, and the pilot sees the underside clearly for the first time, a vast circular surface with faint geometric patterns glowing beneath the metal-like circuitry built into the structure itself, pulsing slowly with a rhythm that feels almost biological, and then the lights pulse faster, brighter, forming shapes that none of the pilots can understand, but all of them feel something deep in their chest, a strange pressure like standing too close to a massive engine, and at that moment every jet's radar screen explodes with signals because the sky around them is no longer empty. Dozens of smaller disks appear on the sensors all at once, surrounding the formation from every direction like silent predators emerging from deep water, yet none of them can be seen with the naked eye, only the main disk remains visible, still hovering above them like the leader of something ancient and unknown. Command on the ground goes completely silent for several seconds before finally whispering the one order no pilot ever expects to hear during an intercept mission: disengage. Immediately, break off the chase and return to base, but the pilots hesitate because the disc begins to move again, slowly rotating in the darkness while the glowing patterns across its surface shift and change like a language written in light, and one of the jets suddenly loses all control as its systems shut down completely, engines dying, cockpit dark, the aircraft falling toward the mountains below while the pilot shouts through dead radio channels, and for a split second the large disc flashes with intense white light and the falling jet simply stops in midair, suspended like a toy hanging from invisible strings before gently drifting downward until its engines suddenly restart and the pilot regains control, and that is the moment every person in the sky realizes the terrifying truth. Whatever these disc-shaped craft are, they are not afraid of human technology, they are not running from the military. They are allowing the chase to happen, studying it, observing the way fighters move, the way pilots react, the way radar systems try to track them, and when the jets finally turn back toward base, the main disc follows for several kilometers before stopping in the distance, hovering motionless as the fighters disappear into the horizon, and when the pilots look back one final time, the object simply rises straight upward into the stars without acceleration, without sound, becoming a tiny dot of light and then nothing at all, leaving behind a sky that suddenly feels far larger and far more frightening than it did before, because somewhere above the atmosphere something is watching, something that allowed the world's most advanced aircraft to chase it only so it could learn how humanity tries to hunt the unknown. And the worst part is that in the official report written after the mission, every pilot agrees on one chilling detail that no radar technician could explain. During the entire chase, the disc-shaped craft never once attempted to escape at full speed, as if it already knew there was nowhere in the sky that humans could follow it.